Hi and welcome to the Book Lab. I'm Björn, and it's the time of the month where we look at the most interesting new releases that are coming out, and we're talking about March 2024, and I have 3 books for you. Not as many as usual, but they are quite interesting. We cover everything from the evolutionary psychology of meaning to a new take on productivity, and last but not least, how robotics will change how we live our lives. So let's just dive right into it. Let's go. The first book that I want to talk about is Slow Productivity by Cal Newport, and it promises a return to quality, and that really piqued my interest because I'm so sick and tired of the tempo in today's culture, especially online. Quote, do fewer things, work at a natural pace, obsess over quality. Cal Newport, he's famous for his books Digital Minimalism, of course Deep Work, which is a modern classic almost. Quote, our current definition of productivity is broken. It pushes us to treat busyness as a proxy for useful effort, leading to impossibly lengthy task lists and ceaseless meetings. We are overwhelmed by all we have to do and on the edge of burnout, left to decide between giving into soul-sapping hustle culture or rejecting ambition altogether. But are these really our only choices? I'm reading a book called 4,000 Weeks right now, and it has had a phenomenal start. I really like it, and I guess I'm in a period where I reevaluate how I'm using my time. I've actually been struggling for years, right, with managing time spent with family, at work, creating book lab, and it seems like I never can get a balance. And I'm starting to slowly realize that it's probably more about making sacrifices. We won't never get all the time that we want to do what we need to do, regardless how efficient we are and how many task lists we are and how many productivity systems we put in place. What we have to do in the end is to discard all the unimportant stuff and really laser focus on what really matters. Quote, combining cultural criticism with systematic pragmatism, Newport deconstructs the absurdities inherited in standard notions of productivity and then provides a step-by-step advice for cultivating a slower, more humane alternative. The book promises a timeless approach to productivity, drawing from the mindsets of people like Galileo and Isaac Newton. I think I would like to read this. The next book on the list is called The Heart and the Ship, Our Bright Future with Robots. It's out on March 20th, and it has 272 pages, and it's written by someone called Daniela Ross. Quote, there's a robotics revolution underway. A record 3.1 million robots are working in factories right now, doing everything from assembling computers to packing goods and monitoring air quality and performance. A far greater number of smart machines impact our lives in countless other ways, improving the precisions of surgeons, cleaning our homes, extending our reach into distant worlds. And we are at the cusp of even more exciting opportunities. I love tech, I'm very much into it, and I think tech has a place in the book lab because it has such a big impact on human psychology, how we live our lives. So I think we need to understand that in order to understand what it means to be human and the human predicament. With recent developments in AI, we have given it sight and hearing. The next natural step is to give our AIs a body, and at that point we will see AI actually interacting and changing and manipulating the real world. Frightening, yet exciting. Quote, in The Heart and the Ship, roboticist Daniela Ross and science writer Gregory Mone provide an overview of the interconnected fields of robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and reframe the way we think about intelligent machines while weighing the moral and ethical consequences of their role in society. This book is definitely making my to-read list for this year. Before we dive into the last book on the list, I want to say that here on the Book Lab, I publish book reviews every week. I do these breakdowns every month of the most exciting releases. So if you want to see this content pop up in your feed, then subscribe and like. And if you really want to support the Book Lab, give us super thanks here on YouTube or join my Patreon. That keeps the light going and the show going. The last book on the list is Purpose: What Evolution and Human Nature Imply About Meaning and Our Existence by Samuel T. Wilkinson. It's 359 pages and releasing on March 9th. The title of this book got me excited, but when I started to read more about the details, I became a bit concerned. I still kept it on the list for some reasons that I will get into soon. So wait and hear me out. Quote, generations have been taught that evolution implies that there is no overarching purpose or meaning to existence, that life has no fundamental meaning. We are merely the accumulation of tens of thousands of intricate molecular accidents. And here it comes. Quote, some scientists take this logic one step further, suggesting that evolution is intrinsically atheistic and goes against the concept of God. By integrating emerging principles from a variety of scientific disciplines ranging from evolutionary biology to psychology, Yale professor Samuel Wilkinson provides a framework of evolution that implies that not only that there is an overarching purpose to our existence, but also what that purpose is. So my concern with this book is that the author seems to cram the idea of God into his science, basically. I immediately felt some resistance to that, but then I thought, hey, this might be the perfect counter book to the ideas that I read about in Determined by Robert Sapolsky, which argues against free will, for instance. And there's absolutely no place for God in that book. Determined was a book that I read and loved. It was on my book of the year list, and if you haven't seen that whole list, because those books are really worth your time, then check out the link in the description. While Determined leaves no place at all for God or free will, this Wilkinson guy seems to do so, and it will be super interesting to hear how he goes about it. And if it's not convincing, at least it will be entertaining to see how he tries. And I also like to get opposing views about different topics. So reading one book against free will, then it's perfect to read another book getting the other side of the spectrum, right? Because that's what I love about lifelong learning, getting all these different ideas and eventually making up my own mind about it. Those were the 3 books for this month. I'll be back next month. It actually seems to be a quite jam-packed month in April. I'm just starting to gather some books for that month. And if you know of any books that are coming out very soon that you want me to cover, then mention that below. And also share what you're reading, because I love to hear what you're reading so I can pick up some books from you guys and I can add them to my to-read list. So have a great reading week and we'll see you in a bit. That's it for me. Björn out.